The House approving a bill to promote retirement security by making it easier for small businesses and other companies to offer retirement plans. Now, the bill also makes it easier for workers to transfer retirement plans when they change jobs and allows part-time workers to save for retirement as well. And joining us tonight to discuss what this House bill means for you is financial advisor Eric Kearney. We thank you so much for joining us, Eric. Before we get started, just a few highlights here. The bill, should it become law, would make it easier for small businesses to band together to offer 401k plans. It would require businesses to let part-time workers become eligible for retirement benefits, and it repeals the maximum age for making contributions. So again, just a few of the highlights, but if you boil it all down, this is really all about encouraging Americans to save more and having those savings last as long as you live, right?
That's correct. There's a lot of Americans right now who are just struggling to save for retirement, and they're working longer into retirement. So a lot of times these companies that they're working for aren't offering financial plans or even retirement plans. So what happens right now is we're seeing the demographics where if you have a larger company that employs over 100 people, you see where 57% or more actually have access to a 401k. With a company that only has one person up to 99 people, less than 46% of those people actually have access to a 401k plan.
So is that the most important facet of this? Or if not, what do you see as the most important provision of the legislation?
I think that's a really important part because there are a lot of people that are working for smaller companies that don't really have great access to retirement needs or plans. And so that's going to be really one of the biggest ones. The other thing that we see is we see a huge demographic of people that are actually working a little bit longer in retirement. So at 70 and a half, they have to take out required minimum distributions from any qualified money that they have. But the other problem is that at 70 and a half, they can no longer contribute to an IRA or a 401k. They're basically tapped at that point. So what legislation wants to do, and it's unbelievable that this is a bipartisan agreement, what they're letting it do is now they're going to extend that up to 72 years old, and now you can keep working and keep putting money away, and you don't have to start required minimum distributions until that time either.
Yeah, bipartisan. When I saw the vote tally, it was pretty amazing. 417 to 3. When's the last time we saw something like that? Pretty significant, though, the elimination of that maximum contribution age on IRAs, right?
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference for a lot of people because all of a sudden, you get to 70 and a half and you have to start depleting that account. And by the way, there's a lot of people who have been so conservative. Once they get to 70 and a half, they actually start to see a devaluation once they start to take out that required minimum distribution. So now what they want to do is you really want to take a good look at your portfolio, especially with the tariffs right now, make any adjustments to that. And remember that hopefully if this goes through, you now have maybe another year and a half before you have to start taking out those required minimum distributions.
Eric, major retirement reforms haven't been enacted in more than a decade. Are we seeing this push now in part because, not only because people are living longer, but because Social Security is facing insolvency in another 16 years?
Yeah, 100%. So now all of a sudden they're starting to lay the groundwork because now they're starting to say, okay, we are going to have Social Security issues down the road. What are we going to do in light of that? Because believe me, at 70 and a half, the government enjoys that you have to start paying taxes on your 401k and all of your qualified money. By them delaying that, that's actually going to increase your retirement and kind of take the burden off of them. So another reason, it's a pretty inoffensive law that they're passing. And I think that that's why both sides ended up doing that, because actually they're putting more responsibility on the American worker, allowing them to work a little bit longer, sock a little bit more money away, and again, take the burden off of Social Security.
These reforms are all well and good, but it's all for naught, right? If you don't have an actual game plan going into retirement and calculate just how much you'll need and for how long.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, less than 7% of financial advisors actually do income plans and overall comprehensive financial plans. So there's a lot of people out there in retirement who are just winging it, thinking I have to work longer just to accumulate more. But they really don't understand actually what's going on with their retirement plan because they don't have one. One of the biggest things that we do is we always push the income plan so that you know where you are all throughout retirement. This is a great law that's going to allow you to save a little bit more, but by no means is this the answer to the ultimate retirement.
All right, Eric Kearney, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.